think he talked about that before we got there on the end of the last question. But a real marriage looks like, two people, to me, it looks like two people who are committed to um, not allowing anything to separate them. And they are willing to do whatever it takes to not only just be in a marriage, but be happy in a marriage. So sometimes that takes compromise, sometimes that takes humility, sometimes that takes listening more, sometimes that takes changing it whatever it is. There's no, I won't do that in order for us to, of course, in a godly marriage, there's no line drawn in the sand where it's like, well, I can't continue. Like we're gonna be committed to, and that's two people. We're gonna be committed to doing what's right in the sight of God, to make sure that we are doing our part in our respective positions in marriage, to not be the one to cause the other hurt, harm, and to make God pleased at the end of the day.
Interesting question. In my mind, every marriage is real. Perfect looks different depending on the marriage, depending on the people. But when I say every marriage is real, once you make those vows underneath God's oversight, it doesn't matter the issues in that marriage. It's real. And that's how I see marriage. When I look at married people, whether you're dealing with immature people or not, I think what they need to understand is that the covenant that you made under God is real. The marriage is as real as it's going to get. The question is, what's the quality? How much does your marriage reflect the image of Christ in His church? I think that's what my wife was describing. If I put it in my terms, she was describing the things that you have to do in order for that marriage to look more like the image of Christ in the church. The humility and the meekness that you have to learn to walk in. The selflessness, being considerate of your spouse and not considerate of yourself. Laying down your life first and foremost for your spouse. Husbands especially for your wives. So I guess in terms of real, if we use it in a way to talk about like what does a good marriage look like? It looks like a man pursuing the character of Christ in every way possible in his life towards his wife. Humility and meekness and a willingness to sacrifice for the needs of his wife, to put her wants even before his own, to do all of the necessary things to protect, care for, and cherish his wife, literally, even as his own flesh, because she is. And then if we want to look at a good marriage, you need the wife to be good on the other side too. So you need the wife, in order for her to reflect that image, she has got to mirror that meekness, that lowliness, that submissiveness, and the obedience to follow the directives of her husband for the house, and to be pleased in so doing. Like that right there is a really good marriage. Can't say real marriage, but it's a really good one. Hope that answers that question well enough. Oh man, I don't remember.
I think it was the
the instance, but the song, I had to modify the lyrics. I will tell you this: whatever the situation was, my wife probably remembers it, but I don't remember the issue. But there wasn't. You remember the issue?
I don't remember the issue.
Okay, but
I remember the time.
I remember that I had to rechange. I had to alter the lyrics because when I wrote it as accurately as the incident was, y'all kept saying that it didn't sound good in the song. So in the first line is, "Baby, when I woke up this morning, I was mad, just as last night. I was ready to go." But when I went into the living room, was supposed to be when I went into the bathroom.
Right. That's not a whole. I mean, that's not a whole change.
When I went into,
it's just a different room. That's just like.
So, sorry guys, I couldn't tell it the way I really wanted it because it didn't sound very palatable for a song when I went into the bathroom. So we changed it. So I changed it to when I went into the living room. Nonetheless, it was a real situation, real issue that had me mad, upset, and I did not want to let go of my anger until the Lord convicted me. And that song was the telling of how God dealt with my heart, with that particular issue, and put me in a position to want to go back to my wife to correct and resolve the issues that was keeping us from loving each other as Christ would have us to do as his children who are married to one another. So, I wish I knew what the issue was, but it was an issue nonetheless that really was what that song was describing in that first verse. Absolutely. Most of the songs that I write, especially when they pertain to relationships, they do have their source, in most cases, in real life experiences, with my wife and I, or oftentimes before we were married, I would write things pertaining to what I imagined marriage to be, and what I wanted to be, as a husband. But yeah, I got some other songs that are in the cuff that are kind of related to some of this stuff. It's coming soon. They're a little bit more descriptive. But baby, when I woke up, yeah, it was a real life issue that had me so upset that God really convicted me. And that conviction and the revelation of my error and what I needed to do to make sure I don't put myself in a position in my heart to ever feel that way again was the foundation of this song. And then what really made this song come to life was my desire to help other people in the body of Christ who are going through the type of issues that we have gone through in marriage, and maybe even worse, more extreme situations. Because the result, the resolution is the same. The solution is the same. There are areas in that song, don't let the sun go down on your anger. That's a biblical principle. And so if we, in our hearts, commit to the Father, because that's his word of instruction, that I'm not going to let the sun go down and wake up angry at my wife. The issue may be unresolved, but I'm not going to be angry about it. We'll just need to talk about it and get it resolved. This is my worship to the Father, and it is my love towards my wife. And these are the type of things that I desire to be able to share with the body of Christ. I want them to be able to enjoy the fruit of our growth, so they don't have to go through the same things that we had to go through. And if they are, we can give them the way out. And that's what this song was really written for. It was an illustration of how to get out of the cycle of hurt and pain that many husbands and wives experience in the church, especially those in ministry who feel like they gotta continue to preach and teach and minister before God's people while their homes are busted and disgusted.